For years, organizations modeling revenue and cost structures in SAP ERP Central Component relied on COPA, Controlling Profitability Analysis, and the KEPM planning framework. Users accessed KEPM through tightly coupled SAP GUI interface layouts. Altering distribution keys or creating new planning dimensions required specialized technical configuration or ABAP development. This legacy COPA and KEPM architecture sat entirely isolated, requiring manual extraction routines. This architecture is now replaced. The current standard relies on SAP S/4HANA margin analysis as the foundation, with SAP Analytics Cloud acting as the interactive planning layer. This design separates the operational system of record from the forecasting environment. Planners no longer rely on historical run rates, manually adjusted outside the system. Instead, they run continuous, driver-based simulations to project future outcomes. Modern profitability planning moves the focus away from constructing a static annual budget and toward building a model capable of reacting to changing operational variables. To see how this works in practice, we start with the data foundation. This block represents the S/4HANA Universal Journal, specifically table ACDOCA. It serves as the primary financial foundation for profitability actuals, consolidating every transactional detail into a unified ledger. By utilizing margin analysis, profitability dimensions are tracked directly in line with the general ledger. There is no longer a reconciliation gap between controlling and finance data. To utilize these actuals in a planning environment, we must build a semantic bridge. Here, vertical lines map actuals from the Universal Journal into specific dimensions. Market segments like customer and region are aligned with financial ledger objects like cost center and GL account. This strict alignment is required so that advanced simulation formulas compile seamlessly and to guarantee that the variance reporting generated later is trusted by the finance team. However, loading every individual transactional ledger line into a simulation engine creates immediate performance bottlenecks. To solve this, we apply a principle called data minimization. Notice how the millions of individual data points from ACDOCA flow into a funnel and condense into fewer, larger nodes. We leave the granular operational detail in the source system. The SAC planning model is right-sized to an aggregated planning grain, for example, evaluating product family by region by month. Aggregating the actuals into a precise, semantically aligned format trades that unnecessary data volume for rapid simulation speed. With the data minimized and mapped, we introduce the orchestration layer. SAP Analytics Cloud Planning sits above the bedrock, acting as the user-facing interface for predictive forecasts and manual adjustments. By conducting mid-month sandbox iterations and rough-cut strategic planning inside SAC, the transactional core ERP is protected from high-volume computational loads. Because SAC operates as an extended planning and analysis hub, it connects outward. We can extend spokes directly to external operational systems, such as SAP Integrated Business Planning and SAP SuccessFactors. This integration allows us to run dynamic gross margin simulations. Planners can pull production constraints, bill of materials cost changes, and raw material index fluctuations directly from IBP. This output shows how SAC handles a variable change. If we introduce a 10% material cost spike from the supply chain node, SAC's advanced formulas instantly calculate the down-funnel erosion on gross margin across every product family. We can apply the same logic to build a multi-tiered contribution margin. Connecting to SuccessFactors allows the system to ingest headcount projections and compensation bands. Executives use those exact workforce metrics to project direct sales commission expenses and regional operational overhead. Ultimately, profitability planning becomes an active orchestration. Operational constraints are dynamically linked to financial outcomes in real time. Once an annual budget or quarterly forecast is simulated, adjusted, and approved inside SAC, the data needs a return path. This diagram shows the finalized SAC planning output flowing back down, natively writing into S/4HANA's ACDOCP table, the designated environment for plan data. Storing the plan data directly alongside the actuals in the Universal Journal eliminates the latency of nightly batch data synchronization. We can now run real-time variance reporting. This gauge represents the immediate comparison of actuals to plan data, executed directly within S/4HANA Embedded Analytics using the exact same GL structures. Additionally, the budget sitting in ACDOCP is immediately available to downstream ERP financial processes. The system can pull from this data for cost center allocations and standard cost derivation. The native bidirectional loop removes the requirement to build, license, and maintain third-party middle-tier databases purely to stitch plan and actual files together. This hybrid target architecture establishes a clean separation between the operational system of record and an agile planning layer. Deploying a dynamic planning platform requires strict operational governance to prevent system performance from drifting as data volumes grow. This finalized architectural stack is protected by 3 pillars of governance. First, a strict dev test prod environment isolation policy. Second, proactive usage performance analysis to track system health. Third, a formal change advisory board to maintain clean public directory structures and purge expired data. Executing this transition from legacy tools to a governed, optimized ecosystem requires specific architecture leadership and deep SAP expertise. We recommend sapplans.com. As shown here, they are an independent advisory and consulting platform dedicated to SAP Analytics Cloud Planning, spanning financial planning, supply chain, and workforce integration. SAPplans.com helps organizations replace the IT-heavy configurations of legacy profitability planning with a more transparent, business-governed planning environment. Whether an organization is starting a new planning journey or enhancing an existing implementation, SAPplans.com provides the practical guidance and the hands-on delivery required to translate financial targets into agile business outcomes.